What's up, guys? Luke here from Luke's Points and Miles. I see we got 5 people in the chat already. Somebody do me a favor and, oh, you know what? Give me just 1 second. I forgot to turn my darn lights on again. Sorry, guys. You guys absolutely know how these days get so super busy and everything gets crazy. And maybe I just wasn't quite ready at 7 o'clock, but we're here now. Uh, Mojo's here. Guys, somebody comment if you can hear me loud and clear. I don't always have this microphone working exactly how I want it to work. CJ's here. Keep it simple. Xavier, we got a lot of guys, a lot of good dudes in here. Xavier says audio's good. We can hear. All right, loud and clear, guys. We have a lot of really good questions. Actually, a very small amount of questions, but they're really interesting questions. And Darius Jamal's in the house. What's up, Darius? John Diamico. Love that name. That's a cool name. Brad Groover, very good friend of the channel. We got a lot of good dudes in here. Okay, real quick, guys. Got some questions to answer. Obviously, if you have questions in the chat, I'm going to answer those. I got about 90 minutes tonight, I think. Also have some I just did a redemption, and I think what I want to do on these lives is I want to lead them off with what have I booked? What did I book this week, or what have I booked in the last couple weeks? Frugal Dad Finance is checking in from South Jersey. What's up, Frugal Dad Finance? Mojo says, what's your current grocery card at the moment? So, honest answer, at this very moment, it is the AAA Visa that gets 5% cash back on groceries. It's not my only one. It's probably not my main one, but that's what is being used right now. And since there's only a few people in here, I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. The AAA 5% cashback Visa so far for me has coded as groceries at the Walmarts. So if you do have to save some money or shop at Walmart for whatever reason, it's a very, very underrated card. Okay. If you hear my dogs barking, that's because I do have dogs, and these lives are extremely difficult to have a quiet house. So it might not be all that quiet tonight, guys. Brad Groover asked, did I get a chance to go over my experience at the Chase Lounge? You know, I posted on Instagram, I think, maybe on Instagram, but on the community page. Here's what I think about the Chase Lounge. I want to be completely fair because I do have a tendency to be negative sometimes. I think I showed up at peak lounge time. So I don't want to give Chase a break because I don't normally give Chase a break, but I did show up at peak time. I had to wait, was it 30 minutes? 30 minutes, something like that. It wasn't, we had a really long layover because we were coming in internationally. So once we got in there, and I know I didn't share this part, so you're right. And I appreciate you, Brad, for bringing this up because I forgot to mention it last live. These are my thoughts on the Chase Lounge. The coffee machines didn't work. I ended up getting like a foo-foo coffee, an espresso, or some kind of stuff that it was good, but it's not what I drank. So I wasn't able to just get a cup of coffee. The atmosphere in that lounge was much closer to a New York bar than an airport lounge. Whether that's good or bad, it's going to be dependent, on who you're talking to. I didn't quite like it, but I think if I was there, headed overseas with the boys or headed overseas on a solo trip, I might like that vibe a little more. Being super tired coming back and heading home, I wasn't a huge fan of the atmosphere and of the vibe, as everyone says now. It definitely has a unique kind of vibe. It's definitely different than a Capital One lounge, but I'm going to have to give it another try to give you a real assessment. The burger, the sapphire burger was great. It was really good, and the fries were really good. So I think that place has much more potential than what I was able to realize in that one trip. So we'll see. I also think with the Capital One Lounge opening up right next to the Centurion and the Sapphire, that Terminal 4 at JFK is a murderer's row of lounges. It's impressive. I don't know why I'd ever fly out anywhere else. That's, we'll see. So thanks, Brad, for bringing that up. There was a couple other things I didn't mention, but maybe I'll get to it later. Um, uh, Kiana, is that Kiana? The annual fee of the AAA Visa doesn't have an annual fee, which is a crazy. It has a $10,000 cap on groceries, but a super underrated card. Even if you're not a cashback person, having a 5% cashback grocery card is pretty sweet. Even if you're a traveler. Mojo, would you burn a 524 slot for? Listen, I'll burn a 524 slot for breakfast. I don't care about 524. Um, I was able to run off like 7 chase cards in a row while being over 524, and they don't. The only chase card that they have that I would even take a look at, I don't even think I want a Freedom Flex because I'm not super interested in the category cards, the quarterly cards. The card I would get if I was under 524 would be the Aeroplan card. The rest of them really don't impress me. As a matter of fact, I've had the Chase Sapphire Reserve for a couple months now, and I'm ready to do an initial what do I think video on that card. It probably won't be super positive. I just, when I look at my points balances, I have found that without bonuses and without referrals, because I don't get a lot of referrals, it's very difficult to accumulate a lot of chase points. I think American Express and Capital One have a better setup to accumulate lots of points. And I'm interested in getting a lot of points. I use a lot of points. I need multiple redemptions. I need multiple, airline tickets. I think it's easier if you're solo that you can do whatever, but it's harder for me because I just need a higher volume of points and miles. Let me see here. Oh man, this name. I am Vision. I'm going to say Vision. I'm not even going to try the say. I'm an Appalachian Middle American white fellow, so that name is very difficult for me. Based on current sign up bonuses, what would you recommend if you had 5K, only Visa and MasterCard accepted, already have a CSR? I'll be really honest with you, man. I don't necessarily follow the sign up bonus trend because I'm not able to get a ton of sign up bonuses. But if you already have the CSR, people will not like this. I honestly think the Capital One Venture X pairs well with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I would not recommend very many people having more than one premium travel card. However, I don't think those two cards are I think they complement each other a little bit. I like the Capital One Venture X if you've only got $5,000. The City Strata right now is pretty hot. The City Strata right now is pretty sweet. And and depending on, you see Visa, and those are both Visa or MasterCard. So those are my two I think I would get if I had 5K to spend. Um, I think those two are super solid cards. CJ says, I think of lounges as a place to escape the chaos. Yeah, and the Chase Sapphire Lounge, and when I was there, was not outside the chaos. It was a different kind of chaos. It was crowded. It was, bouncy music, like bar music. But I think that just might have been my state of mind that day. So I'm going to have to give it another chance to really give you a real take on it. What's the best card to use for Caribbean travel? George Morales. Um, the last time I went to the Caribbean, I used the Capital One duos, both in Panama and the Grand Cayman. And I think that's just easier to to do. I think those two cards, for me, those are my two main travel cards because they're going to be accepted just about anywhere. And it's very simple. I just did a video on Travel Dad Duo, and that's my go-to duo. Nika Poli, Uncle Luke, what's your take on Built and the drama over the airways? Do you think it's still a card to pick up, renter or non-renter? Would you burn a 524 slot? Nicolai, I don't have the Built card. I don't plan on ever getting the Built card. Is it a great card? Yeah, it seems to be super, but there's no sign-up bonus. This is the thing. I think they have exponential partners, Hyatt, Alaska, big league partners, right? But I don't know anyone who's got 2, 3, 4, 500,000 Built points. It's a dining card. What are you using it for besides dining? I don't rent, and I don't know if I ever want to be a renter. That's going to be a personal decision, but from where I've lived, I feel very strongly with just buying, but maybe never selling. Like if I was someone was younger in my working life and I was going to be moving, I'm buying where I go. And when I move across country, I'm keeping it. I'm going to be a landlord and a rental property owner. So, I'm not a big Built fan. I do recognize it's an awesome card, but I don't cover it here. I don't have it. I don't mention it much. I think with the drama, I don't think what they're doing is sustainable unless somebody wants to take that hit for them. And Wells did it. Wells did it for quite a while now, and it sounds like they're wanting to get a better deal. I do think that some of those titles and some of those stories are a bit sensationalized. I don't think Wells is hurting. I don't think Wells is looking to drop them. I don't think any of those things, based on my expertise level, which is very low. I'm a common man. But I don't think there's that much drama. It's one story. If I was a Built card holder, I wouldn't worry too much about it, but I'm not. So hopefully that answers a little bit of your question. Rick Beck, an Ohio man, Rick Beck. Capital One Lounge, IAD on Monday was excellent. Rick, I've been to that lounge. I went to that lounge when I missed a flight. So I had kind of a long stay there. Loved that lounge. Great food. Super good service. Those people that worked at that lounge, they actually did the hospitality. They actually made that lounge. They made me missing that flight not that bad. Really appreciated those people for sure. I missed it. New Delta One Lounge coming to JFK. Lounge Paradise. Yeah, I mean, it's tons of lounges there. Tons. Philmo says Aeroplan card should be on everybody's radar. It's underrated, man. It's big time, especially if you're flying international. Rick Beck says Discover card 5%. Third quarter is grocery and Walmart. Good. I'm going to use it because I'm still in my first year of the Discover, so I can get that 10%. I think, yeah, up until September, 10%. JP Knowledge is in the house. He says, what's up, everyone? He says the Aeroplan card is fire. Going to be getting it next year for sure. Maybe at the end of this year. Do it, JP. JP Knowledge, if you haven't checked out his channel, big time channel. The dude walks the walk. The Aeroplan card will really fit in with him because he does the international business class and first class flights. He does it. He's always doing it. Man, you travel a lot. Rick's Travel Hacking says, what up, fam? Not super late today. Good job, Ricky. Bill or MH says Built is a great way to get free Hyatt points. I don't think anything's free, but Hyatt points are definitely valuable. I do knock on Hyatt quite a bit. I just booked a Hyatt. Now, going back, I want to start the session off with what did I book? So this is a trip I just booked. It's not anything special. I like to do a lot of what is for me aspirational, but I booked. My wife has always wanted to go to Boston. Been on her bucket list forever, and she wanted to go somewhere close to Salem in October, close to Halloween. So I booked 3 nights in Boston. I booked with Delta, and this is how I booked it. I booked 3 Delta tickets to Boston for $33,500. Virgin Atlantic miles. I booked the return trip on Amex Travel using a business platinum card for the 35% bonus. Um, wasn't a great deal, but it's 1.54 cents per point. So we did that. And I booked a Hyatt Regency in downtown Boston. Pretty decent deal. And I got a suite for 3 nights. What I want from you guys is, I know there are some Boston people here. What is the best hotel to book value wise in Boston for a family? And we're only going to be there 3 days. I like having a suite, and I've talked about that before. And for me, that is the strength of the Hyatt program, because sometimes Carlos has to go to sleep and we don't want to bother him if we're up late talking. So if you have any recommendations for Boston as far as just general tourism, where to stay, put them down here, and I'll take a look at them. But for right now, I did grab a suite at the Hyatt Regency. Okay, let me get back to these comments. Travel with Lynn just joined the Platinum family. He's got to figure out how to get $700 back in value. Yeah, good luck, Lynn. I got rid of the personal Platinum because it's just a little bit too much, too many annual fees and too many things I needed to do, too many boxes needed to check. Michael Bassett, hello, hello. How can I use the credits for both of my Hilton Aspires in one stay? Can I just split the bill between both credit cards? Listen, I've got a Conrad Fort Lauderdale stay coming up next month, and I need to use the credits on 2 Aspire cards. So I plan on really running up that bill and living pretty large. They have a fairly expensive restaurant called Takatu in there, and I'll be taking 5 people to it. So I plan on just giving them an Aspire card and saying, put $200 on this one and then pay the rest with this Aspire card. I've never had a problem with them doing that. If I have anything left over, I may be handing them Hilton gift cards as well. But most places will let you pay with 2 different cards. It's not usually a problem with them. All right. Julius, what's up, Luke? What is your go-to card for Las Vegas Strip hotels? I think the Chase Portal with CSR is the best. That's a good question, because the last time I went to Vegas was for the creator meetup, and I used free night certificates at the Waldorf Astoria, and I thought the place was great. I thought the location was great. I don't know if it's the best place to stay, especially if you're a gambler, because there's not even a casino in that hotel. But I would say find hotels and resorts. I don't, you guys will laugh. There is a Conrad in Resorts World. I won't stay there. I have a long story about that I'll get into at some other time. I know I've told it before, but the way they treated me during some phone calls and some things, I almost flew to Vegas just to talk to this dude face to face. And I'm not kidding. I thought about just taking the day off work, going right to Vegas just to see this guy who was talking to me this way. So I won't stay there, but I like the Waldorf Astoria. And one of the IHG properties I would probably stay at, is it the Palazzo? Maybe. I'm not a huge Vegas guy, but I stick with the chains even in Vegas, or find hotels and resorts. The artist says, "How's that white gold card?" I don't have the white gold card. I don't have it. But don't have a gold card anymore either. All right, L Man Gaming's in the house. Chris Four just said he downgraded from the Marriott Brilliant to the Bevy. I don't stay a lot of Marriott hotels. Do you think I'll get any value from the Bevy? Chris, I don't really follow or comment much on the Marriott cards, and it's because I tried and I just could not get a ton of value from the Marriott program. I do think Marriott has big time properties, some of the best properties in the game, but their credit cards don't do it for me. They earn decent amount of points, but those points aren't worth much. So hey, 4 points on groceries or whatever, but they're only worth 3.5, cents per point at Marriott. So I can't give an answer, man. No, I don't think you get a lot of value from the bevy because it's a Marriott card. I don't think any of the Marriott cards are great except for that really expensive one. Sorry, my hair's all. Betty G says the Intercontinental in Boston is awesome. Listen, you say use IHG points. A lot of Intercontinentals won't take IHG points, and I actually have ambassador status, and I have a free night at Intercontinentals. But here's the deal with IHG's program and that ambassador status. I'm trying to use the night, the ambassador free night. It has to be 2 paid nights, and you'll get 1 free. But the rate is much higher than the regular room rate. I have not been able to find a scenario where it even makes sense to get a free room. And I think I did check the Intercontinental, but now that you mentioned it, I'm going to go back and I'm going to double check and I'm going to see if I can make it work. Right now, I'm $0 out of $18 or $16 out of pocket for the whole trip. So to stay at the Intercontinental, I would have to buy at least 1 night. I'll check it out again. Stan the Credit Frog, big time YouTuber, one of my favorites, says for Boston, any hotel in Copley Square, high quality and best location for tourism. Stan, where's Copley Square? Is that Hyatt Regency? Maybe. I'll check it out. Juan, my man Juan Garcia says the Hyatt Regency downtown Boston is nice. You stay there in January. Legal seafood down the street. Okay, by the theaters district. Very nice suggestion, guys. Very nice. JP says Luke showing up to Vegas being a man. Dude, I nothing. Very, very rarely does anything bother me. This dude was bothering me. He was just the way he was talking to me. Yeah, I'm not an internet tough guy. I'm not a tough guy in real life, but JP's a Boston kid. He understands what it means to really be disrespectful when you talk to somebody. They have that old school stuff there too. I used to live in Rhode Island, so I'm familiar with Massachusetts. CJ, DM me or I'll DM you. I think Chad is going to meet up with us down there at the Conrad in Fort Lauderdale, and I think I haven't checked in with him in a few days, but Rod from Points Blank Travel is supposed to be down there. If you don't know Rod is a retired Navy guy, so he's my kind of dude. But yeah, I'll get with you. I'll tell you the dates, and we can meet up and we can drink some fruity drinks. Maybe smoke a cigar. I think I might be due for that. Let me see here. Josh, do you think it makes sense to purchase Hilton points even if you don't have a particular trip in mind? Well, Josh, I purchase the maximum amount of Hilton points every time they go on sale for half a penny each. And I know Hilton points get a lot of smack talk, but I just priced a Hilton resort in Aruba, and it was 1.12 cents per point. So purchasing those at half a penny each and then getting the free night, free fifth night, always makes sense for me. So I purchase the maximum every single year from Hilton and IHG. Now, I understand that's not possible for everyone, but how my life is right now, I can purchase points for travel and still stay within a good, healthy budget. I know not everybody can do that. Boston is great for points redemptions because it's so expensive in cash. Absolutely. Hey, speaking of expensive in cash, go to Switzerland. Golly. I missed one. Raul Garcia, what is the best points credit card for a stay in Vegas? That's going to be, a hotel specific card, or that's a too broad of a question, Raul. I can't really. You take out the Vegas part. What's the best points credit card? You'll get a million different opinions. So stick around, man. You'll get some good ideas because out of 115 people in here, which is a lot for me, there's 114 different opinions on which is the best credit card. And they're all correct, kind of. All right. You guys are talking to each other, which I love. Andrew says Hilton Boston Park Plaza, right in the center of the city, which is very walkable. Okay, so I didn't want to use Hilton because I do everything I can to save Hilton points for 5 night redemptions to get the fifth night free. I'm only going to be there for 3. So usually when I do 3 nights, I want to do Hyatt. If it's 4 nights, I like to do IHG. And if it's 5, Hilton. So that's kind of my strategy there. But I'm going to check it out. Retired 2019. What's up, man? Okay, Betty G says she stayed there many times, only used points. Okay, I will look at it once again. And if that's the case, I think that's a perfect place for me based on your recommendation. Because I do want to burn that free night. I think expires in February, so it would be a perfect time for me to use it. Which also, man, I also have a free Hyatt night that I can't spend. IHG is starting to sound like a scam, Luke. First year Kimpton stay, now ambassador status. I don't think it's a scam. I think it's got some quirks you have to kind of massage to make it work for you. And I'm just learning that. Oh, Josh Anderson is coming to us live from a long line at the Centurion Lounge in Denver. Again, you're not even really peaked. Well, peak time in Denver. Was it 5:30 in Denver? Okay, so that might be understandable. Not understandable, but I get it. Calby Ng says, I like South Boston waterfront. Stayed at the A Loft. A Loft won't work for 3 of us. Usually those are smaller rooms. So I probably won't look at the A Loft. But I do like A Lofts. I think I stayed at A Loft in Panama. The American Express, Andre says the American Express Gold Card hotel collection has check-in at noon now. That's a big time. That's a big time perk. That's awesome. Filmo says all the big timers in here. Well, it's Thursday, man. 115 of us. Let's celebrate. Hit that like button if you're having a good time. 115 people is a lot for me, and I appreciate every single one of you coming in here. CJ, my arms do not make your. CJ's got those. He's got those, but yours are long. You have those long muscular arms, and that's what's in right now. So don't sell yourself short. People like the long muscle thing. I'm just chopped liver. Oh, arm wrestling competition. He's going to have that leverage because he's so much. I don't do a lot of arm wrestling anyway, but I'm not saying I won't. EpiBen. I like that name. EpiBen 1. What are the best points currencies to buy? So I've done a couple videos and talked about this a lot lately, and it sounds like it might be something that is kind of getting more out to the internet space now. I will buy IHG and Hilton. I will max out on buying those. And I'll do that because I know I'm going to use them. And I know half a penny each is too easy to get. I can probably double that. But I also stand on, I don't like transferring my transferable currencies to hotels other than Hyatt. But I don't like transferring anything to IHG, and I don't even like transferring Amex points to Hilton. So I like to buy them or earn them on the cards. JP says, go Celtics. JP, I was rooting for the Mavericks, man, but definitely happy for the Celtics to win that. Storied franchise. They been so good for so long. Like that same core guys have been at the top of the Eastern Conference for a couple years now, man. I'm glad they got it. Really am glad. I wish Luka could have pulled it out, but here we go. Ryan booked a new Hilton in Costa Rica for March 2025. Ended up being 0.03 per point after the 5th night free. I'm not sure. Is that 3 cents per point? If you're getting 3 cents per point, Ryan, you win the internet today. 3 cents per point in Costa Rica? Golly, you scream that from the rooftops to all these Hilton haters. And you celebrate because you did a great job. Good job, man. That's awesome. Josh says long shot question here, but do you know of any points programs or transfer programs that have hostels you can book? Here, I don't know. I've never actually looked at them, but I think on any of the portals you can find a hostel, pay for it with points, or uh, cash your points out, pay for it, or with Capital One, book it, pay for it with cash, and then reimburse or travel erase. So I would look at the portals. I'm not familiar with them because I don't travel like that, but I would check out the portals for sure. Glenn Ardonia, my Filipino executive security man, says, "What's up, playa?" and go Celtics. Dino has been a Boston Celtics fan for a very long time. And actually, my first NBA game was with Glenn Ardonia, Boston Celtics versus the Washington Bullets. How many of you guys are not even old enough to remember that the Washington Wizards used to be the Bullets? They changed it because of all the gun violence. We sat mid court, like we sat right down there in mid court. Awesome experience. It's Anthony Ventures in the house, big time YouTube. Chad's Money Minutes is a big time YouTuber in the house. Going to be meeting with Chad, and I'm hoping he's still on. Meeting with Chad next month. I can't wait. One of my favorite people to talk to. I hope he brings his wife, like his wife too. So hopefully I see you and CJ, and maybe now. Wait a minute. Well, it's going to be CJ, Rod, and Chad, and then me. I'm not. Do I fit in? If I fit in anywhere because I don't fit in anywhere. So that'll be fun. I can't wait. Fly with Rookie just hit us with a super chat. Thank you, sir. Good to catch a live stream. Happy Thursday. Thank you, Fly with Rookie. We appreciate you absolutely. I always appreciate you. David Ruiz, speak of Boston, going in the middle of July for a competition my son's in. He booked the Hyatt Place, Boston Braintree. Is that one close to Southtown or something? I think I might have saw that. $950 and less than 15,000 points. That's insane. The point value I saw on my Hyatt redemption was not. It was like 1.8 cents per point, so it was not anything to write home about. But like I said, a suite for us makes the experience a little better. And as much crap as I talk about Hyatt, I do trust that on a lower end or a budget end, it's going to be great for us. It's always good. It's always good as long as I don't expect a whole lot. Chris Sebastian just became a elite channel member. We thank you, Chris Sebastian. He's a brand new one. If you guys do want to become channel members, click the join button down below. It's like $2.99 a month, and right now they get priority response to comments, which is I'm working on that because I respond to almost every comment anyway. They do get early access to my maximum value redemptions videos, and I really want to start doing more of those. If you have been looking for those and they haven't been coming out quite as fast, I apologize. I'm going to start making more of them, and you guys get access at least 24 hours before anybody else, because some of those redemption videos, those redemptions don't last long. So I will start getting more of those out. I promise. And Brad Groover is an elite channel member now. Appreciate you, Brad. You guys are hitting tonight. This is a big time Thursday. All right, let me get back to before we get here in a minute. I'm going to have to stop with the chat and answer some of these questions that are on the community tab because there's some good ones, really good ones. Okay. Julius, have you ever bought American Airlines miles? I did on accident one time. And what I mean by accident was first class on JAL came out on American Airlines, and I was in such a hurry to book it. I bought some to finish the booking and then just canceled it a few days later anyway. So I wouldn't say it was accident, but I have bought them. I wouldn't buy them unless it was for a very specific redemption that you just needed a few hundred or a couple thousand. I wouldn't buy them regularly. No, they're really expensive. Very valuable, but they're really expensive. Ryan CC, is there a specific time of the year that Hilton puts their points on sale? No, it's just periodically. I think you can find. I like to Google Hilton points on sale historical, and some of the bloggers will have a historical data on when the sales have been, and I kind of try to uh, look for it there. I just bought the yearly maximum just a couple months ago. Oh, Chad says the room's already booked. There you go, buddy. Nice. Can't wait to see you, man. Oh, let me see here. Okay. Yeah, JP, which I'm telling you, I trust JP's opinion a lot. Says I don't think you should buy airline miles unless you've exhausted all your transferable currencies. They pretty much never go below 1 cent per point, and if you look at the cash out rate, you'll be overpaying. I don't disagree with him. However, I do purchase, and I plan on purchasing some airline points, and I'll probably go over that later because I have it kind of goes along with other strategies. Juan Garcia says he remembers the Washington Bullets. Yeah, the basketball team, Washington Bullets, not the real Bullets in Washington. Yeah, Colin says if you buy points at less than what they're worth in redemptions, it's arbitrage. You know, it's you earn on the purchase too, and you're right. You also earn on the purchase. So you're going to have to fly with Rookie is an elite channel member as well. Man, we are smoking it tonight, and we got 140 people in here. That might be a record for me. I'm not quite sure, but it really could be. Guys, I want to go over to the community tab for questions because there's some very interesting questions. Um, JP, who's here, says when it comes to value, as in the sticker, I'm reading from my phone if you're wondering what, as in the sticker cost at the time of booking, how much money do you think the Luke's Points and Miles family will be getting in 2024 from award redemptions? JP, I read this the other day, and I don't listen. It almost when I started the process in my head, it almost made me sick, and I'll tell you why. I wrote it down just before I got online here. In Panama, I took my dad. Oh, in January, I took my dad to Panama. We flew first class. We stayed 4 nights. I don't know how much that cost, but that was the least of what I've redeemed. Um, and I want to put that at really cheap, maybe like $3,000 or $4,000. In February, I took Carlos to Dallas, super cheap. I'm not even going to add that. But in April, three of us went to Grand Cayman for 4 nights. The room alone was over $7,000, and Grand Cayman was not cheap for us to fly. So that was close to that was that was around almost $9,000. So 3 for Panama, 9 for Grand Cayman, and I can't tell you for 2024. I'll just tell you an estimation from so far. May and June we went to Europe. Now here's where it gets really crazy with my redemptions. We flew business class to and from Europe. And normally that's not that big of a deal. So 50,000, 60,000 points. I need 3 tickets this way. I need 3 tickets. So in total, 3 tickets to Toronto, 3 tickets to Amsterdam, 3 more tickets to Malta, 3 more tickets to Zurich, and then 3 tickets at home. So, and some of those hotels were unreal expensive. So we were at like $23,000 just for the Europe trip. So right now we're looking at over 40 grand. And it almost makes me sick because I'm not that kind of, I'm not at that level where I can spend $40,000 on 5 months of travel. I'm not. But that's the power of points and miles. Next month in July, this is the funny thing. The Conrad Fort Lauderdale is the quick economy trip for us, economical budget trip for us. But I'm taking 5 people. So I have 5 plane tickets to Miami, 2 suites at the Conrad Fort Lauderdale for 3 days each, and then 5 more tickets home from Fort Lauderdale. So that's, man, I don't even know how much that cost. But just, and the Conrad Fort Lauderdale, the prices go up and down so much. Sometimes they're $800-900 a night per room. So I don't know what that is, but I would say, and then if you include that Boston trip that I just booked, which is pretty budget friendly, pretty economical, I'm over 50 grand before I take my solo trip this fall. And you know what I'm taking my solo trip. I'm not staying at the Shady Sadies. I'm flying big league. I'm staying somewhere big league. So, and I don't even know if this is a lot for us compared to last year. I think last year we went over that. So to answer your question, I don't want to know, JP. I don't want to tell you that I'm spending $60,000 equivalent on travel for three of us or five of us, whatever it is. I don't want to. I don't want to tell you because I don't want to know. It almost hurts my belly, but it does attest to the power of points and miles because I am a regular working dude. I whatever you think I am, I work a day job every day. Now I work a lot so I can do better things, and I wear sweet watches, but I'm a regular dude. And to get 65,000 dollars in travel, man, I'm almost embarrassed to say that, but I do appreciate the question. I'm gonna get back to the community post, but I'll get this caught up. Baba Fisfis, love that name. I don't know what it is because we're probably different generations. I'm thinking it's like a Pokemon thing or something. It says, hey Luke, thanks for the Q&A. What's the best airline loyalty program for U.S. Canada travel? What's the best transfer currency for that? Yeah, that's a tough question, man, because you're going to get 100 answers. U.S. Canada travel. I mean, I think the if we're doing economy, I don't think we can really do much better than just a Chase Sapphire Reserve. I really, even though I don't really like that card, or I would say pick any of the programs and run up the points. The City have Aeroplan. There's a couple that don't have Aeroplan, but City is a super low cost trifecta and you can earn tons of points. I don't think it matters that much for US and Canada. I think you can use portals and I don't think you can lose that way. When you start getting into other things, I think you have to be more choosy. But I would not spend a ton of time trying to find the best for that because all these programs are good for domestic economy travel. Andrew, fun fact, the Lakers used to be the Minnesota Lakers. Yeah, absolutely. Filmo says he dodged a few Washington Bullets the last time he was in DC. And JP mentions Avianca to purchase. Yeah, and I'm going to be purchasing some Avianca miles, life miles, and I'll do a video to explain why. And watch it and tell me if you agree, because I can definitely see, like JP says, you don't buy them unless you've exhausted them. I can't really argue that. Rodrigo Mendez, do you have any gripes about the Capital One Venture X yet? Man, listen, you could accuse me of being a Capital One shill or a Capital One fanboy, but no, I don't have any complaints. This stuff people complain about. Well, they took away the restaurants. So what? Or they changed the credit to this, or they changed it. Whatever, dude. It's $300. I don't like it. I don't like that part of it, but it's easy. You can use it you can use it as soon as the clock ticks over and gives it to you. You can use it. It's easy. No, I think it's I think when you're talking about fees for value, I think it's annual fee neutral, and I don't know how else to say that because I do understand I'm paying for it, but I think it's about as annual fee neutral as I can get, and it gives me so much more, and it makes everything easy. No, I don't have any gripes about the Venture X yet. It might be my favorite card. It really might be my favorite card, even though it's kind of ho hum, kind of basic. Sorry, I have something on my nose. JJ's in the house. MP Rubio's in the house. Lord Balbazar. He's late. That's okay, Lord. The adrenaline pickle. Hey, Luke, fellow Ohioan here. Great state. Early in my credit card journey. Just grabbed the CSP last week, and I'm aiming for the Venture X in October. I'll be at 424. After that, any generic fifth card suggestions? Okay, so you already got the CSP, and if you get the Venture X, you'll be at 424. I would suggest grabbing one of these Chase Ink cards because there's going to be some different things going on with those. I think they're going to be a little harder to utilize in the future. So I would get one of those. You'll get a great sign up bonus. You'll get a bunch of UR points, and you'll still be 424. I wouldn't, even though I'm not a huge Chase fan, if starting out, I would kind of slow that a bit and utilize some business opportunities to stay under 524. Because I think there's probably a couple Chase cards you should get before you move on from that. Julia says Luke's feeling sick with his redemptions, but Aunt Connie forgot how to use them socks. Hey, Aunt Connie will not have any more socks after the last year, 18. Remember last year? Last year we did Hawaii and then Germany a month or two later, and then Prague, Czech Republic a month or two after that. So last year was some serious hitters also. Robert Jarrell, choice points are great when they're on sale. Absolutely. Yeah. If you can utilize the choice points, then they are a good currency to purchase on sale. Absolutely. Liam says, Liam wants to know if the Amex checking is any good. Where do we go here, man? Oh, yeah. I use it, and I use it a lot. He's going to cancel his green card, but he doesn't want to lose his points. Yeah, I use the Amex checking, and it's fine. Maybe it's not the rewards check. Maybe it's the business checking. I don't know. But either way, I like it. Don't be your work hard, bud. Okay. Yeah, Calby says it's Pokemon. That's what I thought. I don't. I'm a completely different generation of Pokemon. I don't get it. Um, I don't understand it, but I don't judge either. You guys go walk around looking for the Pokemans. The Adrenaline Pickle is interested on how you handle positioning flights and connections, having to fly out of the Midwest, and he's flying out of CVG, which is Cincinnati. Cincinnati actually has a direct flight to London, which is awesome, but it's British Airways, so you're going to pay ridiculous surcharges. Here's what I do, man. I really do the research on the main Chicago, JFK. I like IAD. I like the big East Coast airports, and I use British Airways or Virgin Atlantic to fly American or Delta, or in the case of Washington Dulles, Avianca Miles to fly United. Usually I can get those really cheap. The only problem is it puts me with a substantial layover, and it gives me a very long travel day. So I really focus on those major hubs, and I take those short haul flights and really begin my travel there. A lot of people will fly the day before. I don't do it. I fly in the morning, long layover, get on the plane. It's just an extra step. And what it does for me is it really limits. I don't like to do with my family. I'm not doing more than 2 flights in one day. So the positioning flight, then it has to be a direct flight to where we're going. If it's just me, I can probably add another one on there. But I would really prefer not to. Yeah, MR doesn't know what a Pokemon is either, man. I'm sure it's super cool. David Ruiz says Avianca is worth the price, but is it worth the hassle? Yeah, I'm going to have a couple videos about that. There is a hassle, but it looks like it might be trending positive as far as those hassles. CVG to Denver for connections sounds like an easy flight to justify. Yeah, I don't. I guess if you're going to Asia, I would not want to fly to Denver to fly to Europe, but that's just. I think it's too easy to fly to JFK or Washington Dulles, which are really the 2 places I go most when I'm connecting. I have found out that Toronto has a ton of direct flights to Europe, depending on how expensive it is for you to get to Toronto. I just paid like $300 to go to Toronto, and it's an hour and 10 minutes. So I don't know why it's so expensive, but very expensive for me. Oh man, yeah, Glenn Ardonia is a big league Venture X guy. He loves it. He's killing it. Let me see here. Juan says Capital One's trash. I don't know, man. I don't agree. I don't agree at all. I understand when people say that, But I think when people say that, it's a personal thing. Like, show me on the doll where Capital One hurt you and why it's so personal. They're the largest subprime lender in the country. I'm not subprime, but I like their products and they've been good to me. JJ says, Luke, assuming I can use all the credits, they suck. Do you think it's better to have the Aspire and Surpass with spending 15K for the free night, or just have two Aspires and put spend elsewhere? That's a great question, man. And I think they both make sense. I had an Aspire and a Surpass. I upgraded my Surpass to another Aspire, and I use all the credits. I think it makes sense. I think it does. Uh, and then, but the Surpass Aspire combo, I think it makes just as much sense. I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be personal preference. I think they both make sense. Um, and let us know what you decide to do, because there's definitely nothing bad about having all those Hilton gift cards with the Surpass and all the points you're getting from the spend. A lot of people will argue that you can get better return on spend with other cards, but when you factor in an $800 night, free night on top of that spend, very, very tough to beat. So let us know what you decide, man. Yeah, L Man Gaming says the only ones that have complaints about the Venture X are the ones who keep getting denied for it. I never applied for the Venture X. I product changed a Quicksilver to the Venture X a few months after it came out because I didn't want to apply for it. And here's the funny thing, the Aspire card and the Venture X are the two cards I think are worth it with no bonus. And I would always recommend the Aspire and the Venture X regardless of the bonus. A lot of people don't agree with me. Yeah, Calby says Luke hates Airbnb. I just retired 2019, asked about air. I like full service hotels. I like being treated to really nice things that are above my station in life. I like the fact that I get, complimentary things. I like the fact that they have really good amenities. Like, um, I don't have to clean anything. I can call and say, bring this up. I don't do Airbnbs. I also don't want to stay in somebody's house. I don't have any particular issue with Airbnbs. And I was even going to book one the last time I booked my Ireland trip with like 5 or 6 people. I was going to get an Airbnb just because of so many people. But I really do prefer full service hotels. And I don't know if I'll ever use Airbnbs. Call me Lonnie's in the house. Big leaguer. Everybody say hi, Lonnie. Oh, David Williams says booking $300 a year with the Venture X in the portal can be a nuisance for some. It's like a week at the Shady Sadies. Book a flight. I think it gets lost on a lot of people that I can book a cash flight and include my loyalty number in the flight. I'll earn miles from that program and it'll be on my app, and I never have to deal with Capital One with it at all. I just think it's easy. I think I just think it's easy, man. Like, I wish it was, book a night at the Shady Sadies, man. Don't just go treat yourself. I don't think I'll ever have a problem using it. It'll be as soon as that credit hits, boom, I'm booking something easy. Justin Knorr, Luke, you have to find a reason to come out here to LAX, try out the new Sapphire Lounge. Yeah, I want to go to LA. I'll go see JB. Yeah, I'll definitely be out there. And that may be something I do just on a weekend. I could go out there and meet some people and have some fun. Love LA, love California. JP says people complaining about the Priority Pass restaurants being taken away was odd. I agree, because most people didn't use that benefit. Some people use it a lot, but most people never use it. And that's the ones that did use it really did use it. So I do feel sorry for them, because I know some of those people got tremendous value from that. David Ruiz says, looking forward to the Avianca videos. I've tried 2 times and ended up booking with Aeroplan. Yeah, I don't blame you. I should have Life Miles video coming out Saturday, so check that out on Saturday. Luis says, curious to know why you're not a fan of Chase. I'm not I'm a fan of Chase. I just there's not anything with Chase that I want right now. I have the CSR, I have the Amazon Prime card, I have the ink trifecta, and that's really I just I don't like the quarterly category stuff. Um I don't think Chase cards earn that well compared to American Express or some other programs. They don't have a grocery. I bang at grocery stores. I mean I spend 15 grand a year easy at grocery stores. So they don't have a category. They do 3 exit dining. Everybody does. Like, I don't but I don't dislike Chase. And I'm still using Chase cards. David Ruiz says he finally watched Lonnie and he's fun to watch. He's good. He's just flat out entertaining, technically sound. He's got experience. He got wisdom. He's got knowledge. He's a good looking guy. Check him out. Call me Lonnie. Is it an overkill to have 2 Venture X's? I don't know why you would. I'm not sure why you would want 2 Venture X's, but unless you really wanted 8 authorized users, that might be a strategy for some. Can points be bought with a surpass credit? No, you're not going to get. You're not going to trigger the credit with buying points. All right, let me get back real quick to the community page because Stan the Credit Frog had a really good question. He says, "What is your new hotel strategy? You made a recent video about sticking with Hilton, but does that mean you're going all in, or are you going to work properties in?" Here's the thing, Stan. I am going to stick with Hilton as far as my primary hotel program. And here's the deal. My primary hotel program might not be the most often place I stay. But if I'm staying for 5 days or my summer vacation for 10 days, it's going to be Hilton. It's going to be on points. I have 1,000,000 Hilton points right now. But like I said earlier, if the stay is 4 nights, there's a very good chance it's going to be an IHG property for the 4th night free. If the stay's 3 nights, really good chance it's going to be a Choice hotel if I can find a good one, or more likely a Hyatt, because there's always going to be great value there. And you can't get a free night with Hyatt, not the 4th or 5th or 6th night free. So that's pretty much what we're going to do now. I'm going to buy IHG points and earn them with cash days. I'm going to buy Hilton points and earn them with cash days. And with Choice, probably not going to earn any more Choice points. Probably going to cancel that card. And with Hyatt, they're going to be UR points. So pretty simple. The duration will dictate what I look at primarily for a brand. But for the long stays, it's going to be Hilton, just because I've gotten great value from them. Ricky's Travel Hacking says you can book Airbnb through British Airways and you'll earn 2 times Avios. It's great hack, dude. Great tidbit. Appreciate the knowledge, man. David Ruiz says Capital One lounges are great, but they have been so slow opening new ones. Yeah. I mean, I don't think you're going to see 15 or 20 Capital One lounges. Chase started after Capital One, are now at 10. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, but I don't know if that's an apples to apples comparison, because they have also opened some kind of little satellite, like little lounges. I don't know. They've also done some overseas. So yeah, Capital or Chase is moving faster, and I think they have. I think they can move faster. Largest bank in America, but I've never been to a better domestic lounge than a Capital One lounge. Never been to any domestic lounge that was better than those. The grab and go, the space, the different options. Big fan of Capital One, man. I don't. Yeah, David Reese says Turkish for United, Virgin for Delta. Absolutely. Yeah, Turkish or Avianca, depending on if you can earn Turkish miles. Oh, and Julia says my issue with Capital One is the miles seem to be weak for domestic travel. How so? And that's what David was talking about. Turkish for United, Virgin for Delta, British Airway, or any Avios for American. Same. The all of these programs have the same 4 or 5 big transfer partners. So it's hard for me to say that one of them is weaker than the other because for the most part they have some unique partners. And if, let's say Chase has Hyatt, which is huge advantage, but Capital One has Turkish. And if you're not using Turkish, it's not much of a benefit for you. But ask around. Folks can get tons and tons of value from Turkish Miles and Smiles. And I would venture much more value than a Hyatt stay as far as redemption value percentage wise. Calby says he got a timeshare offer for $250 for 3 days, $250 Visa gift card, and 50,000 choice hotel points. I think that's a great offer. Personally, I'm not doing any of that because I'm just at a chapter in my life where I don't have time, and I'm also not super cordial when it comes to that stuff. When I tell someone no, they should stop talking. So I don't think I would do that, but I definitely understand that it's a great deal. Oh, Jamaza is a bosun's mate, boats, 91 to 94. Jamaza, I'm 95 to 2001, so we definitely sailed the same seas, but just a little bit different time. Stan, you're welcome, sir. I always answer your questions. You are one of my favorites. And speaking of that, let's get back to the questions over here. Andrew Ryan, do you think there's a case to be made to use your points for hotels instead of flights, being that hotel stays generally cost more? Just a generalized question. Guys, what do you think? Do you transfer your transferable currencies to hotel programs other than Hyatt? We have already pretty much established it is almost always a great idea to transfer Ultimate Rewards points to Hyatt. What about the other ones? Does anybody transfer points to Wyndham? Does anybody transfer MR points to Hilton? I'm not even going to ask about Marriott because you better not be transferring anything to Marriott. But does anybody Fly with Rookie? I do not have a Discord. I'm a member of a couple of them, but I'm still not really sure what a Discord is. So maybe something in the future that'll happen. But I'm still learning this whole game. So I think I'd like to have a Discord one day, but not right now. So what do you guys think? Are you transferring any of your transferable currencies to hotels? I'm not. I'd rather purchase them really than use that for or cash my points out and then purchase them. So Ricky said he could see a case for transferring city points to choice because of the 1-to-2 ratio. 100% agreed. And also Wells Fargo will transfer to choice at 1 point to 2 points choice. So yeah, I think those definitely have merit. And would I do that? Yeah, I would. But for the most part, I just don't. But here's the thing. There's been a lot of talk about points redemptions. If you want to take your family somewhere and that's how you can afford it, and that's how you can make memories, just do it. You know, and if you really question whether it's worth it and it's a transferable currency that you can cash out, just cash it out and buy it. Here we go. Andrew Beach. Hey, Uncle Luke, you're actually younger than me, but I still love that you schooling the youngsters. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of us old heads in the game, and I think we bring balance to the force. I think there's something to be said about the older perspective versus these young whiz kids. And I'm not saying anything bad about them because they are whiz kids. They're big time. They're super smart and they're bringing up techniques we didn't even know about. But I think there's something about a guy in their 40s that can give a different perspective that makes sense for some other people. But I appreciate the comment, Andrew. Andrew said he's not a huge fan of Amex. And I understand, but man, you cannot generate points with any other program better than Amex. If you just want a sheer number, huge volume number of points, American Express is your game, man. However long you can tolerate to be in that game. Mark S., do you think Chase will refresh any cards to include grocery? I recently canceled my Amex Gold and I'm on the sideline looking for a good setup. Mark S., I don't think Chase is interested in refreshing anything. And I've said it before, guys. Guess why Chase doesn't have to do anything? Because they have the best referral program. The people on the YouTubes and the people on the blogs and the people at TPG, they can push and tell you how great Chase cards all day long because they're making that UR point cheddar. It's just the way it is, man. City doesn't really have a referral program, and for a long time, nobody mentioned them. The only reason they mentioned them is because a couple people did mention them and got some looks, got some views, and some likes. So then everybody jumped on board. If you look, half the people talking about City don't have City cards. Why don't they have City cards? They don't have a referral program. End rant. JP says no. I even thought about if stop transferring to Hyatt. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because yeah. And JP knows, he shares my sentiment. Transferring those points to hotels, you're getting a lot less value. And if you're also someone who is able to pay cash, if you pay cash for your hotel with, say, that brand hotel credit card, you have the potential to earn tons of points that way. Yeah, MR says Chase is stale as Olive Garden breadsticks. Ryan, he made it. Thank you, sir. Maybe Amex is better for earning flight points, Chase for hotels, but just Hyatt. You're not transferring anything to IHG. You're not transferring anything to Marriott. So just Hyatt. And honestly, yeah, I don't. Tanner Derek says Chase trifecta versus Amex trifecta versus Capital One duo. My main spending is groceries / everything else. Like I said, man, that's going to be a million different factors, which is better for you. To your tolerances for credits, your need for simplicity, your tolerance for annual fees, a million different factors. Those are all great. Here's the thing, guys. We're living in the golden age where really no matter what path you take, you're on a good path. Matt Clausen's in the house. Big time monetized YouTube channel. Just hit it. If you want to congratulate Matt, comment below. He is on his way to a big time YouTube channel and puts out consistent content, lots of content if you want to check him out. Okay, couple more questions here, guys. L-Man Gaming, friend of the channel. If you're about to apply for a mortgage in 6 months to a year, what's the best strategy for grabbing up some final cards before gardening? Is it even wise? I want to get 2 in one day. L-Man Gaming. No, stop. If you're older and you have a super thick credit profile, you can still have inquiries and new accounts and get a mortgage. I've never been denied for a mortgage. Mortgage is the easiest thing to get. But if you don't have a older, thick credit profile, stop. Just wait. That mortgage application is, especially your first one, maybe your second one, is the most important application you make in your entire life. So, no, don't get any more cards until you apply for a mortgage. Not yet. Guys, we just got checked in on by Carlos. So if you do have questions for Carlos, he is ready to take 2 questions. If you want to put them down there, I will call him back in here. If you're new to the channel, my son Carlos loves YouTube, wants to be a YouTuber, and this is his kind of first step in here. He likes to come on the lives and answer a couple questions and then bolt. Tanner wants me to. I would say I can't recommend a trifecta to you without knowing anything at all about you. I don't want to do that to you. I like all 3 of those. Love all 3 of those. So I don't want to. I would recommend all 3. Whatever the easiest you can get. Rodrigo, would you ever go back to the Amex Gold or the personal platinum card? Yes, I would. Especially I don't want annual fees to go up, which it looks like they probably will. But man, I could see me going back to them just because I really do like Amex. I just needed a break from the constant credits. Now, the gold card, I would even say this: paying the $250 for the gold card and not even looking at the credits could, sorry, could be worth it if you're done getting new cards. If you're not bonus hunting and you can put all your food spend on the gold card, I don't even care about the credits. But most of us are still getting new cards. Yeah, Ricky's Travel Hacking says make sure you hit that like button. We still got a ton of guys in here, and I appreciate every single one of you stopping by. Okay, so Charles has got a question for Charles. Charlie, we'll call him. Come on, they're ready for you. We'll call him back in here. He's going to get these two questions: favorite subject in school, and what type of YouTuber do you want to be? All right, good questions, guys. Oh, and we'll do the artist. What position do you play in baseball? His baseball just ended. We had some challenges this year in baseball. Let me see here. Come on, Carlos. You have a couple questions here. All right. And they're different from last time. So get in here.
Good.
Get in here. All right. Look here. Look up there. All right. So, Carlos, what type of YouTuber do you want to be?
Like maybe a mix of like gaming and Legos.
Gaming and Legos. Two
Yeah.
cool things. Carlos, what is your favorite subject in school?
Math.
I like that too. Last one, Carlos. Rodrigo, he already has a Capital One Venture X, so he's got his first credit card. Um, oh, the artist asked Carlos, what position do you play in baseball?
When I play baseball, like the coach will, like we don't get like actual spots. He just assigns us to ones that we're good at.
Where do you usually play?
Like maybe in the outfield usually.
Because he's got the big arm. Thank you, Carlos. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. David, we'll get that. We'll get his favorite sport. I think is it's football. Loves football, and he loves the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, let me get back one more. Let me do at least one more of these, or two more of these. Ian KM1 question for me and you guys. And Ian is a channel member. I am looking to go to Maldives in January. Maldives. The current plan is to use 2 Hilton free night certificates and 120,000 points for 3 nights. I was wondering if anyone had any better ideas or if anyone thought there was a better redemption. Guys, has anybody been to the Maldives? I have to admit something. I don't talk about the Maldives. I've never been to the Maldives, and I have no interest in ever going to the Maldives. So I really can't answer the question. I don't know the best way to do that. If it was me, I would probably invent a strategy to get as many free night certificates at once as possible with Hilton and use that. But if you do have an answer for him, let's hear it. David Ruiz says Maldives is not for him. Ricky's not ready to go. It's just Maldives is just it's tough, man. Robert Gerald says he does transfer to Hilton and Choice, but he gets the bonus, the redemption bonus when they're on. Let me get one more question from the community post, and that's it for that. Let's keep it simple. Hi, Luke. We have always been Team Cashback, but now I have to make a yearly flight to London from Jacksonville, Jayville, with her husband. We would love to use points and miles to fly business. Overseas economy was painful. I can't. That's hard. It's very tough. But it seems difficult. What airlines are best to do this? Searching for flights with miles is really annoying. Any advice? We have Chase, and recently my husband got City Strata Premier. Any airlines you know or think that you should use? Guys, what do you think? What is the best redemption partner from East Coast to London? If you fly British Airways, you're going to pay a ton of cash for taxes and fees. I think that's out, no question. I wouldn't use that. You can use Cathay Pacific Asia miles to fly American Airlines. You can use American Airlines. You can use Alaskan. All those will fly on American Airlines flights. Um, you could fly to a different airport in Europe and take a small flight over to London, but I don't really recommend. That's a lot of different flying. Um, yeah, Ricky says use Asian miles to book British Airways flights, and I think that's probably that's the easiest. Might not be the biggest redemption, but and then Jamie Rogers says fly to Paris on Air France and take the channel underneath. Two pretty good examples. I think American Airlines and Alaskan are great choices too. You can because you can get two or three different American Airlines cards. Um, uh, the adrenaline pickle says Iberia Avios instead of. The thing is you can transfer BA to Iberia, but you're still going to pay those UK taxes. So that won't get you out of the taxes. Flying to Paris on Air France, still a little expensive, maybe 130 bucks a piece in business class on top of the miles, but it's a great way. I think Ricky's got it, man. Use Asia Miles to book British Airways flights. Asia Miles, or it's Cathay Pacific's program, will not charge you the fees. So if you're listening and you're watching, I like that idea. It does get a little tough. I do have a video on this exact redemption using Cathay Pacific Asia Miles to fly to London. Maybe I'll link it in the show notes. But it's a great redemption. It's not the best redemption in the world, but if you want to fly to London business class, I would do it. Wait a minute here. Who's valuing their freedom? The artist. Who are we talking about? Artist? Did I miss something? They're banning people. Ruffles says, where do we enter our questions? Ruffles, just type it in there, buddy. I got about 15 minutes left. I'll be happy to answer almost anything. Tio Rico says he would use American to fly to London, and I think it's a good. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Only reason I kind of hesitate is American Airlines miles are so valuable for all kinds of other stuff. But yeah, it's a good way to do it. Absolutely. Anthony Fatino, you can book JetBlue Mint with Etihad miles and fly from JFK or Boston. Yeah, I think if you're from Jacksonville, and I don't know what kind of flights you have from Jacksonville, whether you have any direct flights to London. The adrenaline pickle, I've been trying to make something work from the CVG to London, but those fees always get you. Adrenaline pickle, try Cathay Pacific's Asia miles on those British Airways flights from Cincinnati to London. I think that's going to be your best bet. Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Or you can route to another. I mean, the idea of routing to another city first is kind of cool because you might be able to book like a stopover. Like if you used Flying Blue miles, you could fly to Amsterdam, do like a 2-day stopover, and continue to London, and that might be a better idea. I'm not sure if a stopover would work though, because you still might get those taxes and fees tacked on because you are ending up in London. So I don't. It's a tough one. I would look at Cathay Pacific Asia miles and see if that is possible for you. Oh, Maldives recently banning Israel. So they're okay. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that, but I understand what you're saying. Um, so the Maldives government is getting into politics, kind of clashing in with tourism and travel. Yeah, I don't. Philippe Palma. Luke, you seem like a smart guy. I'm not. Is it worth joining these Facebook and or Discord groups that offer advanced hacks that can be discussed in public? Yeah, if it's free, for sure. If it's paid, I think you have enough free information out there. I wouldn't pay for any of it, but yeah, I think there's so many Discords and so many Facebook groups. Yeah, they're going to have some smart people on there. I would read them and check them out and do your research. Verify everything you see, and I wouldn't send anybody money for this stuff. Ricky's travel hacking. If you found the availability, would you make the 2-hour drive to CBG to take the direct flight, or would you take a short drive to Columbus to have a connecting flight? If I found a direct flight from Cincinnati to London, I'm doing that all day. Absolutely. It's a couple hour drive. It's like 90 minutes. 100%. Having one flight to London, oh, that would. I don't mind the drive because I go to Bengals games anyway, so I make that drive quite a bit. But yeah, if I could get a reasonable redemption to London from Cincinnati, I would drive to Cincinnati 10 out of 10 times. Absolutely. Yeah, Fleet Palma, I wouldn't pay for that access for the information. Uh, Paying for it might make your journey faster, but all this information is out there for free. I wouldn't pay for it. Dr. Vinny Boombat says, "Hola, Mr. Luke. Hola to you, sir." Uh, Let me see. Rodrigo Mendez, did you wait 6 months to get the Saber One after getting the Venture X? He got denied. I waited a while to even think about the Saber One. When I applied for the Saber One, I got denied. And I called, and the lady said, just wait 6 months and reapply. So, in true Luke's Points and Miles fashion, I waited about 31 days and I applied and I got approved. So I don't wait 6 months for any cards. I don't wait 6 months for anything. Now I do have patience, but I don't perform patience within the credit card game. Why would I? If you don't want to approve me, uh, 10 other places will. I want my points now. I want my points as fast as I can get them. I don't confuse sound patient strategy with tons of points. I want the points. So no, I don't wait. I do recommend other people wait, but personally I don't. Yeah, To says you can go to London and you can transfer city thank you points to Virgin Atlantic for a bonus. With Virgin Atlantic, you're still paying the taxes and fees. It's going to be $1,000 for a business class flight, a reward flight. The taxes and fees will be almost $1,000. So in UK is weird because they're not part of the European Union, so they don't have the same kind of deal. So it makes the UK difficult, and it makes you really search for different options. Have you? Philippe says, have you? Felipe, what is it called? Palma. Have you ever taken a business or first class flight with a child? If so, was it worth it? Yeah, man. Carlos was just here. He has ridden business class on Singapore Airlines, KLM Flying Blue, and Swiss Air. The feeling I get when I'm able to provide something like that is unreal. And he doesn't get to do it all the time because domestically, he sits in economy. But when I can do it, it's I'm not somebody is going to be able to book myself in business and my wife or my kid in economy. So we fly business overseas, and we're not going to fly economy overseas anymore. So yeah, I do. It's worth it for sure. Robert Gerald is now an elite channel member. Robert, thank you, sir. Nice to have you on board. You guys are really motivating me to get some more max value redemptions, and I think I'm going to start working on them. I've got max value redemptions for Aruba coming up. Shouldn't take too long to get those put together, but if you have ever thought about going to Aruba, I got a couple good options for you. Brad Groover, have anyone ever been denied from Amex for having too many new bank cards? I don't think I have. I don't remember ever getting denied from Amex. Unless by too many new bank cards, they mean too many Amex credit cards. You may want to look into that. Ricky says, are you going to the 10X travel meetup in Columbus this Sunday? I've never heard of 10X travel meetup, but I'm curious. I don't know what it is, but if I'm going to write it down. Sorry, I'm shaking this thing. I'm going to write it down and see if I can get any information on it. Doesn't mean I'm going to go, but Ruffles says, okay, I'm curious your thoughts would be over this. I'm absolutely no rush. I have a Quicksilver. I'm wanting to upgrade to travel card, Venture X, waiting on a product change to the Venture X. No gear. Would prefer the product change to the Saber One. Interested in the call them. You can. They have weird things where you can product change certain cards to other certain cards. I would just call them and say, "Hey, I have a Quicksilver. It's not doing it for me. I want something else. These are the couple cards I'm looking for. Can I product change?" And I would probably product change for one and apply for the other. Apply for the one that has the best bonus, or product change to the one you want more. I don't know. Depends on. I don't know what your status is as far as how easily you get approved for cards, but MR says, I bet Adam's kids are really jealous of Carlos. Carlos would be super nice to him and play with him anyway. Carlos is let me tell you, okay, so we got an hour and 25 minutes. We're almost at the limit. I do want to bring something up. Last live we had, somebody mentioned uh, uh, techniques to get upgrades at hotels and mentioned, saying it was your anniversary when it wasn't. And I think I wanted to comment on that. And I didn't, and I forgot. But and I don't care who does that. I'm not a judgy guy, so I'm a live and let live. If you tell the hotel management that it's your anniversary every month and it works for you, you do your thing. I don't do that, but I have no judgment whatsoever. But I will tell you a story about, and it kind of encompasses how I feel on that whole thing. And no, I don't think it's a big deal, but we're in Switzerland. We're on the bus traveling to the waterfall on the Rhine River. And the tour guide is running this game. He's running game. So he's already got a boat lined up for us, but we have to pay him and not the actual attraction. And he says the prices are X amount of Swiss francs for adults and X amount for children. But if you're 6 and under, it's free. So he's going down the bus collecting money for these tickets that didn't even actually have tickets. But whatever, it's his hustle. And he asked Charlie, he says, how old are you? He says, I'm 7. He goes, well, when the boat guy asked, you're 6. So you won't be free. And I didn't say anything. Because I don't have to, because I try to be a parent. And Charlie looks at him and goes, I'm 7. He goes, well, tell him you're 6. He goes, no, I don't feel comfortable doing that. And he looked at me, and I just smiled. And I said, hey, we are doing something right, because I'm not my parents. Like, I don't want him he doesn't have to lie about that. I don't want him to. The fact that he said, I'm not comfortable lying about that, made me super proud, made me feel like maybe I'm doing something right as a parent. Uh, and it was great. So I don't play those games. Like I said, it's not a big deal. Go ahead and do it if you want. I don't think it's a good idea for a lot of different reasons, but we don't. I put in the hotel comments, this is our first time in your beautiful city. Any diamond upgrades are welcome. Any platinum upgrades are welcome. I don't tell hotel chains it's my anniversary every day. So, Brad Gruber says 10x travel is huge in the game. I never even, well, I'm going to have to do some research, man. Okay. Send me some details, and, yeah, I might check it out. I don't know what I have going on Sunday, but, yeah, we'll see. I'm super down to learn from other people. That's for sure. All right, guys, it's 8:30. I am going to be done with this one. I think we hit an all-time high for my channel tonight. But I super appreciate all you guys coming here. If you can slap the like button before you leave, I'd like it even more. But I appreciate you could have been anywhere. You were here. I think we had a great live. Thank you, David Ruiz. I really enjoy doing these things, and I really want to do them every couple weeks. So I do have, we'll save that for later. Guys, thanks. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Good night.